Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Life with Patty. And so our video for today is going to be about coloring. A lot of you have asked me, what pens do you use? Do you use pens? Do you use pencils? I've been asked a lot of different questions. So I just thought I would go over with you what I do and how I color. And let me first off tell you, there is no right or wrong when it comes to coloring. You can color with crayons, markers, pencils, whatever you want. Some people get really into it and color with chalks. And I don't do that because that's a lot of work. But I feel like coloring is just something that kind of takes you away, relaxes you. You can just check out, you know. And I color almost every night. For the last half an hour that I'm awake, I go sit at the dining room table that is adjacent to our living room because my husband likes me to color in there because then we can still visit. But it relaxes me to almost, and some people doesn't do that too, but to me, it relaxes me, it gets me tired, and then I go to bed and it's a lot easier to fall asleep. And a lot of times I'll color and listen to you on YouTube. I'll listen to YouTube videos while I'm coloring. So anyways, okay, I'm going to show you a few things. Then I'm going to tilt the camera down, and then I'm going to do some coloring with you. And like I said, I'm not a professional. There's no right or wrong, but a lot of you have asked me questions, so I'm going to go over it with you. First thing you have to do is decide what kind of coloring do you like. For instance, do you like to color people, where you can do a lot of shades? And I'm going to do this one today with you guys. Not the whole thing, of course, that would take forever. But I just kind of want to show you how I'm still learning skin tones and blending of hair. So this is a book all on the... I'm going to tilt the camera down right now, okay? Okay, so this is a book that's just what it says. It's all on coloring people. So it has lots of great pictures in here, but this is something that you probably don't want to do markers because you can do some markers, but you don't want to do a lot because there's skin tones, there's blending with the hair and with the dresses. This is a nice, easy one to start out with. But there's all kinds of faces and hair and beautiful women. Okay, so this is one kind of coloring style. This is one of my favorite. It's just whimsical. And this author has just started producing color books, Molly Harrison, and I bought this on Amazon. Okay, so you can look her up on Amazon. And so these are whimsical, where you can use some markers and some pens, and you could even use crayon in here. And so this is another fun type of coloring to do. So there's what I did, and that's I did with some blending, some outlining, and some pencils and some markers. So yeah, this is whimsical, and I love doing whimsical as well. Then I got stuck for a long time doing mandala arts. I also got this book off of Amazon. I get almost all my books on Amazon, Michaels, or Hobby Lobby. Those are the only three places I really care for their books. I do get some at Dollar General once in a while. I'll show you an example of their books in a minute. Mandala is a lot more detailed. I most always use just markers when I'm doing mandala. And so you just kind of have to play with it and see what you prefer to color. This came from the Dollar General for $3. Their books are okay. Like, I like this picture a lot. Some of them are really tiny, minute drawing. And so this is one that I like. Sometimes I don't like some of theirs, but I did like this book. This was a fun book. And I always like to get the ones that the page is blank on the back. Sometimes that doesn't happen. And when you order on Amazon, a lot of times you don't know if you're going to get that or not. Because when you're doing markers, a lot of times they bleed through 99% of the time. And so if you have another picture on the back, you've ruined that picture. If you do all pencils, then you won't have that problem. This one I also got from Amazon, and it is super easy, I guess. But it has some examples at the beginning on how you can color your pictures. Which, look at how fun that is. Look at how, I love bright colors. But you do not have to follow what they show you. They're just giving you some examples. Even here, they're starting out with a pattern for you. And I guess this one, I didn't notice. Okay, so then when you get in there further, the pattern stop. These have their pattern on the front, and on the back it has some kind of a saying. So these are really easy, basic coloring. Okay. All right. So you've got to decide at the beginning what kind of coloring you like to do, and if you're like me, you like to do all kinds of coloring. Next thing I want to show you is what kind of markers I use. Okay. I use the Sharpie, and these are the Ultra Fine Points. Sharpie Ultra Fine. You see how fine that tip is? Ultra fine. I use this a lot. Then I use this one, which is Fine Point Sharpies. I find Sharpies to be the best pens to work with. Other people might not like them, but I do. So these are the fine points. Big difference in your tip there. They're both made by Sharpie, but you can see the difference in your tips, right? Depending on what you're going to be doing. I also have some different markers that I bought when I went to Michael's one time, and they're double tipped. This side is thicker. This side is very fine points. They are okay. I do use them. Staedtler, I think it's called. I do use these, but sometimes they're too thick. They don't flow as well as a Sharpie. And then I also use these Crayola Super Tips. Super big tip again, but if you have a large area to fill in, they work great. So have I been any help to you? Probably not, because now you're like, what do I use? Okay. I also use colored pencils. They do have some really expensive brands of pencils, but I like them. Some of them tend to be a little waxy, and some of them tend to be really pricey, because they are made for artists that are doing drawing, colored pencil drawings. And so some of those sets can be $100, $150, and I just can't spend that on a set. So the artist lot, I think, is actually the Michaels brand, and you can get quite a large set for usually around $30 if you have a Michaels coupon for half off. That's what I try to do when I do those. Okay, these are some these are some flesh tone colors, and you can actually buy a whole set of flesh tones so that you have the medium, light, and dark, and they run about $30 for the flesh tones, and I would look on Amazon or Michaels for flesh tone colored pencils. Okay, there's some more colored pencils that I'm going to be using for this picture that I'm going to be drawing for you. Okay, so I am going to start with this picture right here, And the first thing I like to do with pictures like this one, I start out with her face. So I'm going to outline her lips with an ultra fine point Sharpie. I'm going to give her nice bold red lips. So I've outlined her lips with a marker. Then I'm going to go in with my colored pencil. I like them really, and this is my pencil sharpener, you guys. Nothing fancy. I think it costs a couple dollars, $1.69. Or I get them at the Dollar Tree. Okay, and I'm just going to go in and shade in her lips with the pencil. I know my videos hit on a lot of different things, and so for those of you that are really not into coloring, this is probably one of those videos that you're going to click off on, and I'm sorry, and that's okay though. You can do that. Okay, so there's her beautiful lips. I'm going to give her blue eyes. If you just make a round circular motion, it tends to blend them in nice. I, at this present moment, for some reason, do not have a black ultrafine Sharpie. So I'm going to do her eyelashes brown today. But I need to remember to get a black ultrafine Sharpie tomorrow, because I'm kind of lost. I don't know what I did with it, but it's somewhere. Okay. I'm going to give her a little outline. Now, when you get ready to do their skin tones, it's kind of hard. It really is. And you can actually take classes on it. Okay, I'm going to start off with this. I don't even know what color it is. But a lot of times what happens is it makes it too yellow. Yep. And they'll tell you that that's okay, that's what you're supposed to do, because they have you shade like 3 or 4. This is if you really want to get technical. And some people are just like, ugh, I'm not into coloring like that. But I'm just going to try to show you an example. So if I do her skin tone, this tone, the whole thing, I feel like it's going to be really yellow. So I'm going to go over it with a different color. And some of these videos that you can watch on YouTube or anywhere they show you, they literally will do 5 or 6 flesh tone colors. Blending together. Of course, I'm making it look like she has a beard right now, huh? And I'm not going to do the whole thing with you guys tonight, because that would take forever. But I'm going to have to remember what colors I'm using on her, so I can go back and do the same thing again. And I'm going to come in with a peachy color, and I hope that that will make it a little bit lighter. And I will show you guys on a later date how it turned out, okay? When I finish the whole thing. I'm also going to show you a little bit of the hair, what I'm going to do. I take the ultrafine again and I'm going to outline her hair. And you don't have to be perfect. If it goes out of the lines, no big deal, because you're going to blend with your pencils as well. So I'm never precise with this one. And I'm going to do several different colors in her hair. And when you come in with the next color, you kind of blend it in next to that one so that there's no white in between. And like I said, you guys, there is no right or wrong. And afterwards, you can go over the whole thing to blend it all well together. Okay. I will show you when this is completely finished. I'm also going to do her her rose, a pretty red and pink. And I'm going to actually take the thicker marker and outline. A lot of people tend to want to do the coloring apps, and I will do those when when my husband was in the hospital and I didn't want to bring all my supplies into his room. But that's a whole different thing than coloring. To me, it is coloring. They consider it coloring, but you're basically just touching dots, you know. But it's an app on your phone, and they're fun, but I would much rather do this. Alright, you guys, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for tuning in and watching me do some coloring. I'm doing shading and people today, so it is different than just doing whimsical or like doing the cupcakes or mandala, which is a lot easier in my opinion. But I just kind of wanted to show you how you do when you're blending in with markers. But I also want to remind you all, there is never any right or wrong to coloring. Okay, you guys, you have a great day, and I'll see you back here real soon. Bye. Okay, you guys, I just wanted to come back and show you how far I've gotten today. And this could easily take me 3 or 4 days, depends on how long I work on it every night. But I did get her chin a little bit darker than the rest of her face, but I might work on that some more. And I finished her rose. I'm doing several shades in her hair. And I did make the strap on her dress this green. And so I just wanted to show you how far I've gotten. And eventually I'll finish her and I'll show it to you on another video. But until the next time, guys, have fun. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.